if I had something to say to the young fellas, you know, when you in here in sparring, ain't no winning in sparring. You know, a lot of fighters, they always talk about sparring. You know, oh, I did this to you in sparring, or I got the best of you in sparring. You know, if you in here sparring, you supposed to be working on getting better. There's times where I just worked on my jab in sparring.
Terence Crawford has stunned the boxing world after reportedly joining Xander Zayas' training camp ahead of the massive June 27th showdown against Jaron Ennis at the Barclays Center. According to sources, Crawford quietly traveled to Puerto Rico last week to work closely with the 23-year-old champion. Insiders believe this unexpected partnership could completely reshape what many are already calling one of the biggest fights of 2026. Reports suggest this isn't just a publicity appearance.
Think a knockout would happen?
I don't know. Xander can box. Xander is a big guy. He didn't field out for the weight. You know what I'm saying? He's put on a little bit more muscle. You know, it's an interesting fight because, I mean, I think Boots is the heir apparent. Everybody is waiting on Boots to.
Crawford is fully involved in camp, working directly with Zayas on detailed strategies designed to neutralize Ennis's explosive power and versatile offense. The collaboration reportedly began with a phone call between Crawford and promoter Bob Arum about 3 weeks ago. Sources say Arum approached Crawford about mentoring Zayas, highlighting his need for guidance from a fighter who has faced and defeated elite competition across multiple divisions. Initially, Crawford was hesitant, as he has been focused on retirement and business ventures. However, insiders claim Arum convinced him by emphasizing that Zayas represents the future of Puerto Rican boxing and could benefit from Crawford's unmatched ring IQ and experience. Crawford eventually agreed to spend 2 weeks in San Juan, fully committing to the camp.
I think it's a lot closer too because Xander Zayas is a really good boxer, puncher. Well, you know, he's really big for 154.
Absolutely.
And I think that he can move around really good. He got a lot of great combinations and stuff like that. But it's going to be a tough fight for him because Boots is actually a big fighter too as well and has a lot of skills, not just punching power, but he has a lot of boxing skills.
Reports say he arrived on March 25th and immediately began breaking down Ennis's recent performances. Witnesses claim Crawford spent hours analyzing fight footage, identifying patterns and weaknesses that many analysts overlooked. According to insiders, Crawford pointed out that Ennis often relies on predictable setups before throwing his dangerous left hook to the body, patterns that can be countered with precise timing and smarter footwork.
What do you see from Zayas? He will be an underdog. What do you see from him in the fight?
He's got pretty good footwork. And I think that could offset Boots' style. You know, according to how he's dealt with movers in the past.
Like Chukajan?
Yeah.
Karen
Yeah. Exactly.
The adjustments Crawford is teaching focus heavily on ring control and distance management. Sources say he explained that Ennis generates his power by closing distance explosively while staying balanced. Interestingly, Crawford noted that fighters who move too much laterally actually play into Ennis's strengths by opening angles for his power shots. Instead, Crawford is training Zayas to step forward at key moments, disrupting Ennis's rhythm and taking away the space he needs to create knockout opportunities. Respected trainer Stephen Edwards reacted strongly to the news, reportedly saying Crawford's involvement completely changes his prediction for the fight.
Stephen Edwards, a respected trainer who's been vocal about this matchup, apparently called into a boxing podcast after hearing about Crawford's involvement.
But I don't worry about it too much because, you know, they don't get to watch us train. They don't see the punches that we're working on and things like that. I mean, watching the guy run, I mean, you can only see but so much.
He emphasized that Crawford's defensive knowledge at the elite level gives Zayas access to insights that money simply can't buy. Meanwhile, Andre Ward also shared his thoughts, calling it the smartest move Zayas could make. According to insiders, Ward praised Crawford's experience, saying his ability to adapt and read opponents is on another level. He even suggested that if anyone can solve the Boots Ennis puzzle, it's Crawford. Not everyone was immediately convinced. Timothy Bradley Jr. initially questioned whether such a short training period would be enough to impact a fight of this magnitude. However, he later admitted that Crawford's expertise in distance control and counterpunching could give Zayas a real advantage.
I mean, right now, with somebody like Crawford and Spence, they're not interested, and I don't think you could really knock them. And some people say, well, how you gonna say that about Canelo but not Crawford? It's a difference, bro. Terence Crawford fought the best dude in the division. Did he not?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You can fight number one, then you can go fight a B-level guy.
Advantage. Leaked training footage from the camp has only added to the excitement. The clips show Crawford working mitts with Zayas, focusing on shorter, more efficient counters instead of long combinations. Analysts noted Crawford repeatedly emphasizing his signature philosophy: make him miss small, counter big. The footage quickly went viral, reportedly gaining millions of views within hours, as fans debated whether Crawford's presence could be the key factor in an upset victory over Ennis. Crawford's longtime trainer Brian McIntyre also confirmed the collaboration, explaining that Crawford wanted to give back to Puerto Rican fans who supported him throughout his career. Brian McIntyre explained that Terence Crawford views Zayas as a special talent who simply needs the right guidance from someone. Communication fights. According to sources, Crawford is not only working on technique, but also focusing heavily on mental preparation, especially how to stay composed when close, 50-50 fights become uncomfortable in the middle rounds. Meanwhile, Jaron Ennis' camp has remained completely silent regarding Crawford's involvement. Reports suggest his team is staying locked in on their own preparation, showing no public concern about who is helping Zayas. However, insiders claim that behind the scenes, adjustments are already being made. Coaches are reportedly preparing for a more defensive, counter-focused version of Zayas compared to his previous fights. Sources also indicate that Ennis' sparring partners are now being instructed to imitate Crawford's signature pull-counter style, allowing the camp to prepare for potential tactical changes. Respected trainer Derek James shared his perspective, suggesting that Crawford's biggest impact may not be technical, but psychological. He explained that when a pound-for-pound great believes in you, it completely transforms your mindset. According to insiders, James emphasized that belief plays a huge role in evenly matched fights, and Crawford's presence gives Zayas a level of confidence he didn't previously have. The betting odds have also shifted since news of Crawford joining the camp became public. Reports suggest Ennis initially opened as a strong favorite, but the gap has narrowed significantly. Insiders say sportsbooks have seen increased betting activity on Zayas, indicating that many believe Crawford's involvement makes this a much closer fight than expected. Trainer Robert Garcia offered another key insight, highlighting Crawford's elite switch-hitting ability. He explained that this makes Crawford the perfect mentor for Zayas, who is also capable of fighting from both stances. According to sources, Garcia noted that learning when to switch stances against Ennis could disrupt his rhythm and create uncomfortable angles, a skill very few fighters in history have mastered at Crawford's level.
He's got a beautiful relationship, you know. He could be, one day be my son, next day could be my nephew. We got the gym together, so we could be business partners, but we got one common goal.
Analytics teams have also started breaking down how Crawford's defensive philosophy could influence Zayas' performance. Reports suggest comparisons between Zayas' recent fights and Crawford's career numbers revealed a major difference in punch absorption. Insiders claim that if Crawford can help Zayas reduce the number of shots he takes, even by a small margin, it could significantly improve his chances of winning on the scorecards. Crawford also reportedly held a private session with Zayas focused entirely on mindset. According to sources, he explained that Ennis' knockout record creates a psychological advantage before the fight even begins. Drawing from his own experience against fighters like Errol Spence Jr., Crawford advised that respecting power is necessary, but fearing it can be dangerous. The key, he said, is controlling distance so Ennis never gets the space to fully unleash his most dangerous shots. Off the ring, global star Bad Bunny, who is connected to Zayas' management team, reportedly reached out to Crawford personally to show appreciation. Sources claim he described Crawford's involvement as a major boost for Puerto Rican boxing and praised him for giving back to the next generation. According to insiders, this has only increased confidence within the team that Zayas can shock the world on June 27th. Crawford's influence has also extended to training logistics. Reports suggest he recommended bringing in high-level southpaw sparring partners capable of replicating Ennis's speed and combination punching. According to sources, Zayas' team is now actively searching for fighters who can mimic Ennis's aggressive style, particularly his fast multi-punch combinations from the southpaw stance. All of this preparation shows just how seriously Zayas' camp is taking the challenge and how much Crawford's presence may reshape the entire fight. Sean Porter shared his thoughts during a discussion with Paulie Malignaggi, explaining that he wasn't surprised to see Terence Crawford step in to help Zayas. According to those who heard the conversation, Porter said Crawford has always respected fighters who take real risks. He pointed out that Zayas could have stayed comfortable at welterweight, defending his titles against safer opponents, but instead chose to move up and face a dangerous fighter like Jaron Ennis. Porter believes that kind of fearless mentality naturally attracts legends like Crawford, who want to see the sport evolve through bold competitors. The financial side of Crawford's involvement remains unclear. Insiders say there's no confirmation on whether he's being paid or if this is simply a gesture of respect toward Bob Arum and Puerto Rican boxing. Sources claim Crawford specifically requested that any financial details stay private, as he doesn't want the story to shift toward money. People within Zayas' camp believe Crawford's motivation is about legacy. According to reports, he wants to be remembered not only as an undefeated champion, but also as someone who helped guide the next generation of fighters after retirement. Crawford has reportedly spent significant time working with Zayas on body attack strategies for the Ennis fight. Sources say he emphasized that Ennis shows the most defensive weaknesses when consistently targeted to the body. Observers claim Crawford demonstrated precise angles for liver shots and solar plexus punches designed to slow Ennis down and reduce his offensive output. According to insiders, Crawford told Zayas that landing around 15 to 20 clean body shots by the middle rounds could noticeably reduce Ennis's hand speed in the later stages of the fight, a key factor that could shift momentum. Keith Thurman also weighed in, praising Crawford's involvement. Reports suggest Thurman said this is exactly how retired fighters should contribute to the sport, by mentoring the next generation. He highlighted that boxing often struggles with passing knowledge forward, and Crawford stepping in sets a strong example for other legends to follow. Some analysts believe there's also a psychological angle behind revealing Crawford's presence in camp. Insiders claim Zayas' team may have intentionally allowed the news to leak in order to put pressure on Ennis. By making it public, they potentially force Ennis to rethink his strategy and overanalyze the situation, a mental game that can impact performance before the fight even begins. Meanwhile, Zayas' confidence has reportedly skyrocketed since Crawford joined camp. People close to him say his entire demeanor changed within just a few days. Insiders claim Zayas told his team that working with Crawford makes him feel capable of beating anyone in the division. Having guidance from an undefeated multi-division legend, he believes, brings a completely different level of mental preparation. Crawford is expected to remain in San Juan through mid-April before returning to Omaha. However, sources say he plans to come back during the final week of camp in June to fine-tune strategy and help with last-minute mental preparation. There are also reports that he may attend the fight at Barclays Center, potentially supporting Zayas from ringside, a presence that could provide a huge emotional boost on fight night. On the other side, promoter Eddie Hearn has downplayed the impact of Crawford's involvement. During a press conference, he reportedly stated that 2 weeks of training with anyone isn't enough to completely transform a fighter's style. He emphasized that Ennis has been preparing his entire life for moments like this and remains the naturally bigger, stronger, and more experienced fighter at junior middleweight. According to sources, Hearn believes Crawford's role will ultimately be a minor detail once the fight is over, predicting a convincing win for Ennis. However, the final sparring sessions before Crawford left camp told a different story. Witnesses claim Zayas showed significant improvement, making opponents miss by tighter margins and responding with sharper, more precise counters than ever before.